Hey everybody, Who's Jedi here with another review for you. This time talking episode 18 of season 3 of The Flash, Lose Yourself. And this is another really solid episode. It really feels like the plot is kicking into high gear. I mean, we've only got a few episodes left, I believe 5. So yeah, now it's time to get serious. And they do a really nice job of this. So let's kind of get right into it. Um, I do really like what's going on with Harry and the thinking cap, and especially how like Joe directly compares it to an addiction. Um, if you're familiar with the famous story "Flowers for Algernon," I believe is how it's said, it's basically a story about a mentally disabled man who gains the ability to temporarily become not just in of normal mental capacity, but beyond that, and then slowly it starts to fade away, and just his horror at realizing what he's going back to. And for here, Harry is kind of a little bit similar. He's found this higher plane of intelligence, and the idea of stepping down from that, even for so much as making stepping away from that for so much as even frying eggs, is become terrible for him. And Joe does that little test and catches him basically acting like a junkie going through withdrawal. He like lashes out at Cisco, and as a Star Trek fan watching somebody destroy a model of the Enterprise, I'm like, ooh, no, you don't do that, that's not cool. And I do like that, and points to Harry when he kind of does really sink into him that he really has crossed the line. He does try to apologize to Cisco, and Cisco, not unreasonably, just completely blows him off. No, of course, I'm sure these guys are going to patch this all up earlier, but, an apology is not always enough, especially in the moment. Sometimes you really have to demonstrate your repentance beyond words, and sometimes some water just needs to flow under the bridge. Of course, Harry doesn't learn this lesson for very long before he ends up basically almost apparently frying his brain with dark matter. I mean, granted, it's for a good reason, but still. And, this is another great episode where, the Thinker wins. I mean, he basically comes in there and gets everything that he wants. He takes out all the medals. Only Neil Borman Fallout remains, and who knows if he even still wants that guy's powers. I would assume so. But he shows once again that he has been able to play Team Flash like completely like a fiddle. I mean, they have had a few small victories here and there, but this time they played completely and utterly into his hands. And the way it went from looking like, oh my god, they won, to, oh crap, the bad guy just cleaned everybody's clocks. And that was beautiful. It was brilliant. Like when he holds up the things and he's like, you should check the color on these. It's just like, oh crap, this is going to be bad. And of course, it's bad. He seems to have found a way to remove Killer Frost's existence from Caitlin. He killed all of the other metas, including Ralph. I mean, well, okay, he took over Ralph's body, I guess we should say. And what I did really like was the very bit at the end where Ralph kind of accepts what's about to happen, and he's content to know that he's going to die a better person than he was. And I really like how they put a nice twist on the cliche thing of, superheroes, like why we don't kill. We don't kill because there's always another way. We don't kill because it's always wrong to kill. And those moral stances are all well and good. Although as much as I love superheroes, even I kind of find those to be a little bit questionable at times. But still, Ralph didn't want to kill the Thinker because he wanted revenge for Izzy. He didn't want to kill the Thinker out of self-preservation. He wanted to kill the Thinker to protect the only family that he really had in the world. And that's a very humanizing motive. It's it's not entirely selfless. Now let's be clear about that. Yeah, of course, if you want to trying to save someone's life is a noble act, but also remember that Ralph wants to spare himself the pain of losing these people. And again, wanting to avoid pain is perfectly natural. It's, everybody's like that. But it is a case of no matter what, you are going to lose people that you care about. People die. People leave your life for various reasons. And these things are inevitable. It's a lot like those stories where people who do horrific things to try and use dark magic to bring a loved one back from the dead. Well, yes, being reunited with a loved one is great. Being able to help someone live is great. But ultimately, people do these things for selfish reasons. It's, I can't live without them. My pain is too great without them. And that is, at the end of the day, selfishness. So, it is a really, really, very fine line. But I'm glad that they decided to kind of explore that aspect of the superheroes not killing and their morality on that one. Also, kind of nice to see another Marleys Showdown. And Iris does learn a nice lesson about why you should have some personal combat skills of your own. Guns are all well and good, but yeah, ranged weapon versus melee weapon. Well, ranged weapons are great until somebody gets in with the melee weapon, gets in close to you, and then they're pretty much worthless. So yeah, if you've got a gun and somebody else has a sword, you've got a pretty big advantage, right up until the point where they're standing next to you and you're within range of that sword. So better do something quick or you're effed. Oh yeah, and speaking of swords, think about this for a moment. When we saw the samurai early on in the season, both Barry and Cisco had trouble taking it down. We see another samurai here, and Joe takes it down by himself. Now, Joe's really badass, but that feels a little bit lazy. I don't know, maybe this wasn't the A-game samurai. And to be fair, that we did see another one taken out pretty easily earlier in this episode, so maybe the top shelf model got destroyed earlier in the season, and these were far simpler models, not meant to be so wow, crazy, awesome. And I really did like at the end where Thinker uses Ralph's shape-shifting powers to retake his proper form, and that's really interesting. It's a nice twist on what Team Flash had done in that regards earlier in the season with Ralph taking the Thinker's form to help Barry out. And yeah, I kind of think that covers everything that I had to say in this episode. So let's stop it here, guys. Until next time, please comment, rate, subscribe. Of course, you can follow me on Twitter @HoosierJedi and also join me on Tumblr @JediReviewer. Till next time, take care and have a good one.